Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, drones can save the elephants and the rhinos. Bell Helicopter gets the largest order ever, and thousands participate in the world's largest rocketry competition. Welcome to Airborne Unlimited, I'm Ashley Hale. As we are wrapping up today's episode, our newsroom got a late-breaking story. Jim Campbell is here to report.
Thanks, Ashley, and hi, folks. Well, we're here to follow up on yesterday's forced landing of actor Harrison Ford onto a golf course just outside the Santa Monica airport. His Ryan PT-22 recruit apparently suffered an engine failure shortly after departure. He radioed into the tower that he was executing a forced landing, asked for a different runway than what he was assigned, but unfortunately was able to get to either. As we understand it, Ford was conscious and breathing when first responders arrived at the accident scene. It was a golf course, and two doctors were literally walking distance away and rendered some aid to the actor at the time. He suffered multiple gashes to the head, according to various reports, and was transported to the hospital where he was listed in fair to moderate condition, and he's expected to be released shortly. His son, Ben Ford, tweeted at the time that he was, quote, at the hospital, Dad is okay, battered, but okay. He is every bit the man you would think he is. He is an incredibly strong man. From what we know, we quite agree. It appears to have been a fairly decently executed emergency landing. Unfortunately, he did catch some of the trees on the way in, and that seemed to complicate the initial impact scenario. But at the same time, there's no question that he did what all pilots do or need to do when an engine fails. Find a good place to land and put it down. Unfortunately, some of the local politicians and especially the anti-Santa Monica activists have gone on a total bender. We're particularly concerned about an LA politician who says, quote, really, for me, the first concern has always been the fear of a plane falling out of the sky and landing in someone's home. This has happened in the past. This politician, Mike Bonin, seems to be more interested in talking about things that might happen than in what did happen, and the fact that the Santa Monica Airport provides a phenomenal resource to the community. But not when politics gets in the way, and people who have moved next to an airport over the course of many years expect the noise to go away because, well, now they're offended by it. It's going to be a mess, we know that, but most important, and the thing that we need to remember above and beyond all things, is that a good pilot did what good pilots do. He took the best circumstances he could have out of there, rendered a positive result, and while he didn't quite walk away from it, we know he will walk away from it soon. Our best wishes to Harrison Ford, his family, and his friends, and we look forward to seeing him in Oshkosh this year. In the meantime, the Santa Monica mess, this is not going to be any easier anytime soon, and I think the aviation world is going to have to realize that trying to be nice to these people, trying to talk politely with these people, is going to make no sense at all. Airports are needed to make progress. They're also used for people to just plain have fun, whether they be actors, whether they be people who just pump gas around the corner, whether they be student pilots, or whether they just be plain folks. For the Aero-News Network, Airborne and Aero-TV, I'm Jim Campbell.
Despite the worst that Mother Nature could produce, thousands of women and more than a few guys headed to Dallas for one of the aviation industry's most exciting events. The 26th Annual International Women in Aviation Conference started on Wednesday. Women in Aviation International is one of the fastest growing organizations in aviation today. With a membership now exceeding 11,000 members, the conference had something for everyone. A stellar roster of speakers were present, the exhibition hall was packed, and the energy was high. The WAI is an organization that learns from the past, lives in the present, and looks to the future. An example of this is the Girls in Aviation Day that is dedicated to introducing girls and young women into the various facets of aviation. WAI also offers extensive scholarship opportunities, resulting in many thousands of dollars being given to deserving applicants around the world. There's lots to tell, and we'll bring you more about this important event next week. When you hear the word drone, it's pretty easy to envision a wicked machine that can do some real damage in a war situation. In this case, however, the drones are used to save endangered species. The Charles A. and Anne Morrow Lindbergh Foundation recently announced its new Air Shepherd program that uses advanced technologies to stop the massive poaching of elephants and rhinos in Africa. Poaching of elephants and rhinos is an example of species being wiped out, and Foundation President John Peterson said that by using drones and advanced supercomputer-based predictive analysis, it literally stops poaching in its tracks. In the Air Shepherd program, small drone aircraft with night vision and the world's best computer-based predictive capability can see the poachers and alert authorities who will stop them before they kill an animal. The Lindbergh Foundation has launched a major crowdfunding campaign to raise funds to field drone teams for the 7 African countries. When we come back, Bell and Air Methods Corporation reach an agreement for 200 Bell 407 GXP helicopters.
The KSN 770 is an affordable, WAS-enabled integrated MFD with a flexible hybrid user interface from Bendix King. Get your fingers on the 770's perfect blend of touchscreen and hard buttons. Easily control your GPS navigation, NavCom, weather, traffic, and terrain in any condition. For more information, go to bendixking.com.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. If you have a story suggestion for Airborne Unlimited, send an email to news-spy@aero-news.net. Bell Helicopter has announced an agreement for the sale of 200 Bell 407 GXPs, configured for helicopter emergency medical services, to Air Methods Corporation. This order marks one of the largest commercial sales in Bell Helicopter's history, and one of the largest orders in the industry's history. Deliveries are scheduled to begin in 2016 with a 10-year contract. All of the Bell 407 GXPs will be equipped with United Rotorcraft Emergency Medical Services interior. The adaptable interior can accommodate a single patient or specialty transport and includes the articulating loading system for easy patient loading. The United Rotorcraft interior also provides integrated medical systems such as medical oxygen, suction, air, storage, electrical power, and approved provisions for securing medical support equipment during all aspects of flight. Nearly 4,000 middle and high school students across the country are gearing up for the 2015 Team America Rocketry Challenge, known as TARC. This is the aerospace and defense industry's program to inspire young people to explore careers in science, technology, engineering, and math. This year, close to 700 teams are designing and building model rockets as they compete to qualify for the national finals, scheduled for May 9th in the Plains, Virginia. TARC challenges teams to design and build a model rocket that can travel to a height of 800 feet and back within 46 to 48 seconds. Each rocket will carry one raw egg that must return undamaged to the ground. Sponsored by the Aerospace Industries Association, the National Association of Rocketry, and 27 industry partners, the contest aims to strengthen U.S. student engagement with STEM. After these messages, Sikorsky and Bristow join in on search and rescue in the UK.
AML's patent-pending wireless induction charging system eliminates confusion over those charging cables, cuts down cockpit cable clutter, and allows you and your passengers to fly cordless and eliminate the cable nightmare. www.aviationmodificationleaders.com.
Since the early days of powered flight, pilots have struggled with landing in crosswinds. In fact, crosswinds and wind gusts cause more landing accidents than fog, thunderstorms, and icing combined. That's where the Redbird X-Wind SE comes in. By placing pilots in gusty crosswind conditions for extended periods of time, the X-Wind SE gives instructors all the time they need to teach the pilot the proper techniques for landing in crosswind conditions. For more information on Redbird X-Wind SE and Redbird's entire line of flight training devices, visit www.redbirdflightsimulation.com regulations.com.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro standby instrument. TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Welcome back! With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we've summarized some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. Bristow Helicopters was awarded the UK SAR contract on behalf of the Maritime Coast Guard Agency to start service in April. They will operate a fleet of 11 Sikorsky S-92 helicopters based in 5 strategic bases within the UK. The CAF Redtail Squadron is joining with the CAF Florida Wing to bring its Rise Above traveling exhibit and P-51C Mustang to DeLand, Florida, March 17th through the 22nd. The exhibit tells the inspiring story of the Tuskegee Airmen. The GEICO Skytypers will perform and Skytype at more than a dozen air shows during 2015. They fly World War II S&J advanced trainers information with perfectly timed puffs of smoke. Sikorsky West has placed an order for 3 Boeing 747-8 freighter airplanes valued at more than $1.1 billion. They project continued growth based on adding the new Boeings to their fleet. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's move on to the rest of the news. Southwest Airlines has agreed to remove a disciplinary action from the file of a mechanic who reported finding cracks in the fuselage of a Boeing 737 airplane and will pay the mechanic's legal fees. The mechanic received a reprimand in his file for reporting cracks in the fuselage of a Southwest airplane during a normal inspection. The action taken by the mechanic resulted in the aircraft being removed from service. The airline claimed his inspection and the reporting of the crack was outside the scope of his assigned task and placed a letter of reprimand in his file. In his complaint, the mechanic said the letter from the airline, quote, was calculated to or had the effect of intimidating him and dissuading him and other Southwest mechanics for reporting the discovery of cracks, abnormalities, or defects out of fear of being disciplined, end quote. A Department of Labor administrative law judge dismissed Southwest's motion for summary judgment and granted a similar motion in favor of the mechanic. Well, that's our program for Friday, March 6th. Remember to get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Remember, Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily, Monday through Friday. Join us every weekday for the best in aviation and aerospace news. I'm Ashley Hale. Thanks for watching.